This impressive ice formation is called needle ice. If your town or city recently experienced a cold snap, there's a chance you may be able to find it outside. Needle ice can only form in specific types of soil when the air is below freezing and the ground is above freezing. Each of these requirements clues us in to how these ice pillars form. First, there needs to be a source of liquid water below the ground so that it can freeze into the ice above. This means that it must have recently been warm enough so that the ground hasn't completely frozen over. If the ground isn't cold enough to form ice, something has to be, and that something is the air. The cold air does two things. It provides frost as a starting point for the rest of the ice to grow off of, and keeps the ice that has already formed cold enough to keep on growing. These two factors alone aren't enough to form needle ice. The water running through the soil needs to get up to the surface. This happens through capillary action, where the water is more attracted to soil particles around it than it is to itself. This is kind of like when you're mixing cake batter, and each time you stir, more batter builds up along the edges. When gaps between soil particles are small enough, like in silty soils where needle ice grows, water can climb up to the surface. Once the water reaches the surface, it joins a thin layer of water that surrounds the ice, effectively pushing the whole structure upward. However, if the space between particles gets too small, there won't be enough room for the needles to form, and the ground will just freeze over instead. Knowing how it forms, you now know when and where to look. Needle ice is most common in late fall and early spring, when the days are above freezing and the nights are below. It's also a good idea to look at the base of or on a hill, where water is likely to be flowing underground. I've also noticed that areas with the right size soil are often muddy, so boots are a good idea. I wish you the best of luck in your search for needle ice.